The Ballon d'Or just happened, Ballon d'Or 2023, and the winner is Leo Messi. Let's start with the first topic of the night that we have. Messi wins the Ballon d'Or. Do you think he deserves it, or do you think that Haaland deserves it? Because we have Aditya, who's a City fan. He probably feels very strongly about it. I'm just going to start with you.
Man, I'm really, really sad, but all of us were kind of expecting it that this is what is going to be the final news. But as a City fan, as a supporter of the club, what season I witnessed of Haaland cannot be like a season which can be repeated again and again. So I was kind of hoping that somehow or the other he nicks it off. But as everyone expected or anticipated, Leo Messi wins it. I'm sad about it. This was the right opportunity to, try to pass the mantle to someone else, because a season like this cannot be repeated again and again. But fair enough that Messi gets it. I just had to suck it up and hope that Haaland wins it again or gives that kind of a season again.
Prayag, what do you think about this? Do you think it was deserved?
Yeah, I'm going to bring a little more nuance to this. I think Messi, Rodri, Haaland and De Bruyne, all of them deserve it. The question should be who deserves it more. And of course, Haaland had an insane season. He scored a lot of goals. But I feel like the fact that he didn't really make the difference in the semis and the finals in the Champions League makes it difficult for him to be winning the Ballon d'Or. That way, I think maybe looking at the whole season, I feel like within City, Rodri is more deserving. But it's kind of more difficult to understand because he doesn't score all the goals, but he was more important. As a City fan, if you ask yourself, like, would City have won the treble without Haaland? You cannot say a resounding no, right? They could have. So how can you give the Ballon d'Or to a player who may not have made the whole difference? So when I look at it that way, of course, in Messi's case, like, his season was okay. I think he performed pretty well. And we've all seen what happened in the World Cup. And it was also very iconic. Like, the whole world was talking about it. And again, the way Messi plays, it's like, it's something totally different, right? So when he does those things, right, the first thing you think, oh shit, that's the best player in the world. So from that context, I feel like it's not a big injustice giving it to Messi. But it's also not so clear-cut.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. But like, think about it logically in terms of like what Ballon d'Or represents through all these years. There have been always Ballon d'Or winners who have been, Champions League winners, or at least treble winners and stuff like that. Haaland won a treble. He had a groundbreaking season in the Premier League where he scored like the most number of goals anyone's ever scored in the Premier League, all competitions.
Exactly.
He's won almost all trophies available to him, and yeah, he scored against all the big teams. And I don't know what else he's supposed to do to win a Ballon d'Or. Now let's compare that straight to Messi, stat to stat. Messi has won the World Cup. He won League One, but then he did not have a great season at PSG. It was a very average season. Domestically, he didn't do as well. And Champions League, he didn't win. So I mean, he got knocked out way earlier than like everyone expected. So in this context of things, do you think, Aditya, that like you have a more stronger reason to believe that Ballon d'Or sometimes favors PR more than like actual accomplishments? And do you think that this season, just to end the story of Messi, who's the biggest guy in football, it was just an easier thing to do?
This is a complete full PR stint. Yeah, come on, yeah. This is to kind of give a happy note to all those footballing fans who've grown up watching Messi and have that love towards the game. And Messi being Messi, he is football, man. There's no debate about that. But this was the right opportunity, to maybe give a youngster that kind of a position, because he had a very kick-ass season, record-breaking in the Premier League. Scoring 36 goals is not a small feat, yeah. And winning the treble is not gonna happen every now and then. I agree, he has won the World Cup I agree, like you said, that PSG won the league, they won the French Cup as well. So he also has the silverware to back it in the argument. But that is the argument for the PR stint helpers, is what I would say here, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. Should Ronaldo have won the Ballon d'Or this year?
See, coming from the background that I'm a Real Madrid fan, I won't say that Ronaldo should have won because, of course, he doesn't play in Europe anymore. But coming back to what happened in Ballon d'Or, I think it's a proper daylight robbery, and I have facts supporting my statement. Haaland had a 50 plus goal season. If you compare the Ballon d'Or rankings in comparison of goals, Haaland wins it. If you compare it in the way of trophies won by every player, I think Julian Alvarez would have won it. Julian Alvarez. He had won the World Cup with Argentina and also the treble with Manchester City. So on what basis did they give the Ballon d'Or to Messi is just beyond my explanation.
I think the Julian Alvarez thing doesn't make sense because he wasn't a starter for Man City.
Come on. See, exactly.
It's not a computer, right? It's not like an Excel file. They're like comparing. That's not how it is. Let's be realistic here.
I was talking about the parameters they were considering for giving out the Ballon d'Or. Listen to me. I don't think
4.
Yeah, so I don't think 6 penalties at the World Cup give you Ballon d'Or, man.
Yeah, 6 penalty wala number leke aaye.
I mean, 6 penalties at the World Cup. I mean, and what you're going to show off that you have won the French league. That league is not even at the level of Saudi league now. Like, and the next.
Don't say that.
Don't say
that. No. And surprising thing, whenever Mr. Ballon d'Or winner, what you call him, enters the knockout rounds of Champions League, where does he go? Kidhar hai wo?
Out.
Bahar. Like I remember him saying that Champions League we will back to Camp Nou. Camp Nou hi rahe raha. Camp Nou also got demolished.
Bro,
I don't know.
I'll give.
On what grounds did they give Messi the Ballon d'Or, man? I think Haaland should have. Sorry. Yeah. Sure.
I'll give Prayag a chance to back this up, and I'll help him out here, saying that basically Messi was a leader in the Argentina camp. He led them to a World Cup, and this was a very, very tough thing to achieve. That obviously this is a very tough thing to achieve, and he had a really good World Cup for sure. He was probably one of the better players in the World Cup, and he was a leader for Argentina and captained the team to the biggest trophy in this world, and overall, like, his PR also speaks for himself. So Prayag, what do you think?
No, so that's what I'm saying, right? Messi shouldn't be getting it outright. And personally, I would say that if you ignore all the PR, I think someone like Rodri or De Bruyne should get it, personally, more than Haaland.
Man, even, I would also say that Kevin De Bruyne had a really strong shout here as well, that he could have also won.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, so even
for 20 games in the season. What about the rest?
But that also speaks for itself, right? What this guy does in those 20 games, like what he does when it matters the most. That's something insane. And for me, like, I feel like Haaland goes missing in big games. Maybe it's a testament to how good he is. He gets marked so much, but the same thing used to happen to Messi also, right? Many years ago. So I find it very difficult to be saying like, oh, Haaland should get it outright when he wasn't the clutch player. So and also what you said earlier, what do you mean by demolish? They're renovating.
Exactly. Demolish to karna padega na, renovate karne ke liye.
So even Bernabeu also was renovating, right?
And it's generating a revenue right now. We're in profits.
Oh my god.
He knows, bro. He's the chief architect of Bernabeu.
Bro, remember, every time you listen to something on Spotify, the money goes to Barcelona.
I have YouTube Premium. Also Apple Music.
But so Prayag, so you definitely think that Messi winning the Ballon d'Or right now has no basis whatsoever.
No, it has a basis, right? But it's not like proper logical football basis. There is a basis we spoke about. There is the PR aspect to it, and I agree, of course. Like you can't deny facts. I mean statistics, but at the same time, you can't blindly look at the stats as well. I just feel like when Messi scored 60 goals, it was very different from when Haaland scored 60 goals. The goals are very different from each other.
I would agree.
Okay, those 60 goals were insane. So I feel like there are two ways of looking at this, right? Who's the best player and who had the best season? If you ask me who's the best player in the world, I would say it's probably Mbappe. And if you ask me who had the best season, you can say Haaland because of all the things he won. And if you look in between, right, who's the most complete player? I think maybe it should be Rodri. Like you pointed out, De Bruyne played only like 20-30 games, right? In that case, I think Rodri makes more sense. But if you guys are talking about PR and saying that's how unfairly Messi won it, then you should also admit that Rodri is not, like, you guys are not even talking about Rodri just because of PR.
Yeah,
You're talking about
Rodri
Haaland.
is your guinea
that
pig.
guy has
And,
the least amount.
I would
of
say
PR.
it's a compromise. That makes sense.
so
But nobody would
that's
be
your card in
satisfied
the
with
debate.
that. Yeah.
So your debate
Nobody
is like
would be-
basically they're saying Haaland, let's just put a twister here and let's just say Rodri. So that
No,
doesn't
no,
even look
I'm
bad
saying-
on Messi.
No. Even okay, let's do one thing. Let's ask
That's
the
what he
city.
prepared and came. He knew.
No. Okay,
Stats
let's
won't
ask
back
the
him.
city. What do you think Pep would say?
Pep
Pep
would
gave
say
a
something
statement.
weird like Rico Lewis or something.
Bro, he never
Calvin
disses on
Phillips
Messi.
doesn't even start.
No, but Messi, whenever Messi comes into play, then Pep is always going to say Messi first. And that's what he did also when he was asked about the
Yeah.
question on Erling Haaland.
He said different
having a
trophy
chance
for
to win.
Messi
Yeah.
and then
Exactly.
different trophy for rest of them. It's like, what the fuck does that mean, bro?
But bro, Kevin De Bruyne 20 games to nahi khela tha, man. He played like
Khela tha. Clutch
I don't know.
goals,
I mean,
clutch.
that was an exaggeration.
yeah,
clutch games
20
khela
is too
tha.
less. He has played almost 40 plus in all competitions, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong about it.
Really?
Yeah, bro, he was there.
Sure, maybe. But clutch games खेला था और clutch goal भी score किया था, वो मेरे को अच्छे से याद है. My
He
heart is
was
still
good,
aching.
यार ऐसा नहीं, but
Oh,
Rodri
the
also
goal
had
against
a good
Arsenal.
Hmm.
See, till the time, let me be very honest.
And
Till
Madrid.
the time,
And Madrid.
Of course. Madrid वाला तो personal था. Personal था वो goal. The way I was like watching the TV and I'm like shit. ये match तो गया. खत्म.
कोर्तुआ की गर्लफ्रेंड का सीन था ना कुछ.
हाँ. Like अभी तक
Personal goal मार के.
like Kevin De Bruyne is अभी तक in ठुकरा के मेरा प्यार मोड़.
Crazy.
but bro, why
Okay,
तो
then.
बात है ना, till the time the World Cup was not in picture. Messi was not going to be in the picture of Ballon d'Or rankings also, man. उस समय the three players that were in top three contention were the three players that we are talking about right now, which is Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland. It's only because of the World Cup winning factor coming into play, he has suddenly jolted up and turned out to be the winner. Abhi. And that is why now we are
Yeah.
discussing about the likes of Erling Haaland, क्यों नहीं, ये नहीं, ये क्यों नहीं करते.
Yeah.
So,
And
it
also,
is a
I would
bit-
also say that in terms of World Cup, I think Messi's best World Cup performance was actually in 2014. Where he
Exactly.
literally single-handedly took them to the final.
Exactly.
Carried the whole team to the final.
Yeah. Here he had a good team. All of them supported him. That is why they have won the World
He
Cup.
didn't have they weren't the best team in the tournament, bro, for sure. They weren't the best team.
Bro,
I
they
mean, they
came
had
in
a-
with the
I would
form.
argue-
They came in with the form that they had
France-
never lost, and they lost the first game against Saudi.
Exactly.
Look at the irony here. Ronaldo fan बैठा हुआ है, Saudi League चला गया है. The team that walked into the World Cup was coming in with the full form. So you can't say that they were not a good team, yeah. Yes, people didn't know about a lot of them because they don't see all of them playing regularly in top clubs in Europe, so that's why they are unaware of them. But then we got the likes of Enzo Fernandez to
Enzo.
shine in that tournament. Julian Alvarez came in the
McAllister.
picture in that tournament. McAllister आ गया उस tournament में बाहर. So all of these players got like a huge shout out. Emi Martinez के बारे में सब लोग और अच्छे से देख रहे हैं. So it was a great opportunity for them. So I would disagree with you on that fact that they were not a strong team. They were a complete team or some top-notch players. They who were like, if you see in the team of the tournament as well, keeper, defender, her spot may they have their players come into the picture. So that really helped him to grab this 8th volunteer is what I would say. And it was a bit unlucky for us City players, that 3 players that we're talking about. They didn't have a chance at all because World Cup was in this year's volunteer contention, which completely changed the picture.
Yeah.
I think it's that. It's not just PR. There's one more thing. It's the way he plays. How people feel when he does those things, like the way he dribbles and all those. So when he does those things in the World Cup, right, it becomes very iconic. Like everybody's talking about it.
It's also a great ending for FIFA in a way, right? Like FIFA has been like riding on this Messi wave for so long, and like now you see everyone knows Messi throughout the continental USA. They probably won't know Haaland also. Like I'm sure like they'll know more people will know Messi. People who don't watch anything to do with football, celebrities, all this stuff. So they needed that one last push, bro. Like I get it. I get the PR stunt, but then again, it spoils the integrity of the football world. Cool. Let's end this topic now. Prayag has lost. He's defeated. He came with some other different tangent of Rodri. Good job, bro.